The following is a TPC Network podcast.
What's up, boys? Ole and Jacob, greatest hockey players on planet Earth. Jacob, tell them what we're doing.
We just want to welcome you to the Lukewarm Seat podcast. We're your hosts today, but not forever, because we got this beauty here, and we're going to run you through a few funnies, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of The Lukewarm Seat. I'm your co-host, Josh Ruckstall, and joining me, as always,
Rockstar Chris Cole. Hi.
And as you just heard, we have huge guests this week. You've known them probably from their YouTube series, or you might have seen them on CBC with affiliation with the NHL. We have the guys from On the Bench. Great podcast. Chris, I wish you could have joined me. It was a great podcast interview.
Well, and you know, sometimes it's going to happen every once in a while where we do something in the middle of the week and we can't both be there. But yeah, fantastic interview with those guys. So I'm really excited. We're going to give it a we're going to put it in the middle of the episode where we normally do our interview. So and it's going to be on. It was great. It's awesome. They're funny guys.
Funny guys, and you'll be amazed as to what they come up with on the fly as they go. And yeah, great interview. But first, we get right down to the brass tacks and talk about what's new with us in the week. And, you know, we're planning a baby shower here, and I've got something great in mind. It's going to be great. It's going to be good YouTube content for the Lukewarm Seat podcast. At my baby shower, well, my website baby shower, I have the diaper party. We're building a mini stick hockey slip and slide.
Oh, get out of here.
No, so you've probably seen on YouTube, like the guys that are playing like hockey with the slip and slide, and so we're building a mini stick version of that for 2-on-2, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. Gonna be some pretty good bruises and bumps. And
I was gonna say, so what I'm understanding is I'm gonna get hurt.
We're all gonna get hurt. It's gonna be the best part. I'm just gonna draft Remy on my team and just have him go just hit people.
Wait, I'm people. Oh.
We've got the pool to soak in after. It's all going to be good. But no, I'm excited. Been planning that. What else?
Yeah, we got to figure out. We're actually trying to figure out where we're going to camp when we go, because I have, you know, an army of children, and we. I guess the campsites are all like packing right up everywhere. So.
And that's like in conjunction with the Canada Day weekend-esque, right in the middle of Canada Day, Memorial Day. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be great. But that's where we're at. We're in the baby shower process of having a baby. She's moving a lot. I got to feel her 3 times this week, so she's maybe not being as shy. So that was awesome. She was moving, and like you can actually see her like kicking the shit out of my wife. So. So that's always good to see, like, feet coming through her skin of her belly was weird for the first time, but now it's like, you're getting beat up.
On the inside.
Yeah.
You said earlier that we're going to skip it, but yeah, you know, I'm difficult. So talking about the size of the baby. So last week she was as big as what was the animal? It was
It was an otter. An otter, yeah. And so you said you're going to treat my daughter like an otter.
Yeah. So I can only assume.
So we can guess. I don't have the exact measurements this week, so I think we're gonna wing it, and we're gonna try and get ourselves a job here as baby sizing experts.
Yeah.
So if I got the notes from last week. I got the notes from last week here, so we'll go to the. Oh no, I deleted it. Dang. Okay, that's okay. So
no, that's how big she is now.
Shopping. Okay, no.
As big as a shopping mall. No.
No, because that means it's going to be other things are going to be the size of the Grand Canyon after. And no,
the big box store.
Yeah, it's a big box. But no, so I think if it's an otter last week, I'm going to say it's going to be the size of like a baby seal.
Bigger otter. Oh.
Bigger otter? A slightly older otter?
A slightly older otter.
a head of lettuce, so maybe like a cabbage now. Is it a Cabbage Patch Kid?
Oh.
Cabbage Patch Kid.
So if they eat coleslaw, are they cannibals? I gotta save some of these.
This is good. If a Cabbage Patch, yeah, they'd be cannibal.
That's weird.
It's really weird. So I broke my toe.
Yeah.
So
Segue.
broke my toe. We were last night. I'm getting in bed and I realized I left my cell phone charger in the living room. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna turn on lights because then your eyes get all like blur. And so I was like, I know my own house pretty good. And just walking along, grab the cell phone charger. I'm like, haha, made it. I'm going back, and I stubbed my toe against this giant dog bed I have. It's made out of wood. It weighs about 35 pounds. This dog bed, and I instantly just dropped. Like I got shot. My wife's like, "Is everything okay? I'm too pregnant. I can't come check on you. Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "No, I'm not okay." And I'm just like pulling myself into the bedroom. And she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Stub my toe." She goes, "Oh, so you're gonna be fine." I'm like, I don't think it's fine. Like, this is literally the worst pain I've ever been in my life. It literally feels like somebody chopped off my toe. And to preface this story, I was bragging about how good my depth perception is with my lack of depth perception. So I have a disease called strabismus, where you have no depth perception. Both your eyes don't work together. So I only look through one eye at a time. So essentially, I'm a pirate. So like just one eye is the only thing I look out of. And then, do you remember when we were kids? They had those like little, strabismus. So you know those like viewfinder things where you have images with the discs and you click it. So when I switch what I am looking through, it feels like you're switching the image in one of those discs. So that brings me bring it right back to my childhood is those like Disney discs, and you're like flicking and you get like the play-by-play of what happened in the movie. So I was bragging. I was like, like I've adapted. Like it doesn't like stop me. I've got great depth perception. Like I've never like run into anything like, and like that night, like stub my toe. It's black, blue, and double the size. It's only the one beside the pinky toe. I don't think there's like the index toe. Like it's like the ring toe. Yeah.
The ring toe. Yeah. It's the ring toe.
So I broke that toe, and I've been now having to keep it elevated and iced and taped, and I'm just like in so much pain. But yeah, that happened to me yesterday, and I was like, I have no stories to tell this week, and then I break my toe, and I'm like, oh great, yeah, just for my own amusement. I'm gonna be one of the on the bench boys, just injuring myself for content now.
So I have a couple stories this week. I decided that I'm a big fan of a certain brand of guitar, and I bought Megan. It's called a parlor size guitar. So there's just a smaller body. The neck's a full size neck, so it plays like a regular guitar, but the body's a lot smaller, easier to travel with, so on and so forth. Just some people that play this smaller body parlor style guitar. Gord Downey played one. He played a really small bodied guitar, like a parlor size. Ed Sheeran plays one. He has signature models of parlor. So I got this parlor size guitar. I decided that I was going to trade in one of my normal size guitars because I had.
How many guitars do you have?
Oh, that's a question that I never like.
So is it hoarder worthy or collector worthy? Like, is it like you have guitars and like there's like it looks like Andy from Toy Story, like the next door neighbors, like toy pieces everywhere and like mix match and pieces, or is it like you have like an abundance of guitars and it's like a collection and each one has its own purpose and its own story and uniqueness to it?
Yeah, that's closer.
Okay.
No, a little bit of both. So like I have 4 electric guitars, and like I sold my full size bodied guitars. I sold the worst of 5, or I traded the worst of 5 for this new guitar. So that's where I was. It was the backup of my backup's backup, is what I told somebody.
Is the backup to your backup's backup?
Yeah.
So it's fourth in line to the throne.
Yes, with the king on top.
Yes.
4 and the king up here.
Yeah.
And nobody can see that. I don't know why I'm doing this.
You're raising fingers, and I just literally said it the best way, fourth in line to the throne. But you're like, no, we have to explain with fingers, and let me show you. And I'm like, yes, it's great. I see what you're doing, Chris, but nobody else can.
It's true. So I traded this thing in, and it was a great guitar. I really liked it, but again, it was like, well, if I'm going to play, I have my normal guitar that I play on stage, and then I have my backup in case I break a string, and then I have the guitar that Mike uses for when he has to tune his guitar to like, we have to have a guitar to a different kind of tuning, and then I have like the other one, and then I had this one. Yeah. So I got this little itty bitty body one, and it might actually end up being my backup guitar because I like it that much. I love it. It's a Sigma is the brand, and they are just really good at making copies of big brand guitars. So I bought this guitar, played a song with it. Sounds really nice, plays really nice. Ended up getting rid of a guitar. I also got rid of like an itty bitty small bodied electric guitar that I thought I was going to give to one of my kids, but then they went, so I
Children.
Yeah.
And you still have 3 children this week, so it must have been a good week for the babysitting front for your oldest.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing pretty all right. In fact, I think we've decided that we're going to stop daycare next year.
Wow.
Is doing really well. He's going to be older and more mature, and then when he gets to 14 the year after, when he gets like, his brother will be able to babysit, so like we won't have to worry as much on
well,
that.
Legally he can't work till he's 16, so you've got him monopolized for the next 4 years as babysitter.
I pay for his phone.
Yeah.
So we're like,
wait, your 12-year-old has a phone?
Yeah, because he's babysitting.
I wasn't allowed a phone till I was like 17.
But he's babysitting. We don't have a house phone, so.
Well, nobody has house phones anymore.
So he's babysitting. He needs to have a way to communicate with police or communicate with us, and it just makes it a lot easier just if he has one. So he pays for it himself.
Gotcha.
In labor. So that's one story. I've been recording with my dad.
Yeah, you guys are recording like songs, right? Because your dad was originally what got you into music. Well, for those that don't know you.
For those who don't know me, I'm a musician. I play music. I record music, and my dad is a bluegrass musician who, if you're into that scene, he's one of those people. If you're into the bluegrass scene, you've probably heard of him. And he does like session musician stuff too, but he out of his own studio. But so we've been talking about doing a project together for years, and this kind of ended up being like the perfect time. So I've been recording country songs with him. So I've got right now we've done "Pocket of a Clown," which is a Dwight Yoakam song, which turned out amazing. "On the Road Again" by Willie Nelson. Right. We are in the process of finishing. It was done, but I don't like my vocal. We did "Hey Porter" by Johnny Cash.
Yep.
So fast. I'm just doing like listening to the vocal back again, and I can hear myself getting tongue tied.
All Johnny Cash's songs, people think Johnny Cash is like the easiest thing to sing. When I'd go out and do karaoke, if there was a competent female that was in our group that wanted to do karaoke, I always did the song with Johnny and June.
Jackson.
Pardon? Jackson. Yeah, we did Jackson, and this is a perfect song. But like literally every Johnny Cash song, you can get lost in the words because he just has this way of making it sound like he's talking real slow and like proper Southern, but he is rifling those words off.
And his articulation is so strong. It's amazing. So so I'm gonna re-record it. I was okay, but you could like my dad and I, we can both hear it. We're sitting there going, I can hear that I'm reading it. as I'm going through. But we got that one. I recorded Highwayman, which is
I think I watched you practicing that this week.
I posted a video of myself doing it. So I recorded that and he sent it to him. And
are you going to do any modern country? Like more modern country? No, he's an old bluegrasser. That modern country, he's going to go, bleh. Like, that's not good. But there is some modern country that is very bluegrassy, like Tim Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey. Great, like that's a very bluegrassy country song.
He's a very, very. He would be, if I were to do something, I'd probably want to say like probably Tennessee Whiskey, to be honest.
I'd love to hear that song, like done by you and your father.
Grabbing even just folky songs like a Lumineers song, "Flowers in Your Hair" is one that I actually just posted with the new guitar, and it's a very folky bluegrassy feel to it. Or, but I'm also taking. I took an old rock song from the '90s, and I put a cowboy strumming pattern on it, and lowered the octave on the voice a lot for my set, like because I'm not going to sing like. And it's a Smashing Pumpkins song. So we're doing bluegrass. We're doing Disarm.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's totally different. It's like down, tick down, tick down, tick down, tick down, tick down, tick down, ba ba ba. Like anyway, and anyway, it's a ton of fun. And the first stuff I did, I recorded with my very, very, very expensive ribbon mic, and he sent me a message, and so I do it with this, my expensive ribbon mic. He sends me a message, says, "What kind of mic you do that with?" And I say, "Oh, I did it with such and such, my ribbon mic that's really expensive." And he goes, "Yeah, it wasn't that expensive. It sounds like." So
you're gonna have to edit it out at the beginning because I said that word when my baby was beating my wife up. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Darn. I'll have to go look for that then. So dropping a little S word in there, but we're trying to not do those things. So and we
exactly.
And I didn't even think of it when you said it earlier. It's just
we didn't even think about it last week because it was in our interview as well. I was listening to our episode this morning in our interview. Yeah. So. But we were trying to be family friendly. People have been saying how much they like it because it's a family friendly podcast, and like we're talking about some things that are like very adult like, but we're using language that everyone can listen to. And if
with their kids being irritating in the back,
exactly, and like the fact that I was able to navigate a story about a massage last week and not use any descriptive words.
Oh my goodness, it was so hard for me not to make jokes. So he tells me that, and then so he tells me that. So I record with my stage mics, which is fine. It turned out like, I don't know if you heard those two songs, but they turned out amazing. Like I played it for someone I've played music with for years, and he's like, "That's not you," like because it's so just countrified. And anyway, so the Hey Porter and Highwayman I recorded and I sent it to him with a different mic, and I have my isolation screen, which normally I'd be speaking into right now, but I'm at my in-laws. So I recorded with that thing, the mic, and I said, "What did you think of the microphone?" And he goes, "That sounded really good. What kind of mic is that?" I said, "That's a $20 mic I bought off of eBay from China."
A wish buy.
Yeah, a $20 condenser microphone, which I think I like. I don't know if I gave, like when you guys were doing a podcast before, I couldn't remember if I gave you one or whatever.
No, I bought a Wish one on my first podcast, and it had like a little red cord, and it went right into like the microphone slot of the computer, and it was a little like $15 Wish that took 500 years to get here.
Podcast was gone.
Yeah.
So this microphone, and these are the ones I used to use for my old podcast, West to Finish. Like these are like, I would have like 9 of them around the house and recording band. Anyway, talking to him on the phone, and it's a knockoff of a big brand of microphone. And he goes, "This is my father's ear." And it's how gross and angry it makes me. He goes, yeah, that sounds like such and such a make, such and such a model. I think that's probably a knockoff of that. And it's exactly what it's a knockoff of. And you do it by sound. Like, you know what? You're the devil. So yeah, so I'm recording stuff with my dad. And then I have so many stories this week.
Well, I got one too here I want to throw in.
Tell a story, then I'll tell my last story.
All right, so I've only got one more story too. My wife she's very pregnant, and I've been making her rest. She is a person that loves to do everything, be in charge, and have the house clean, have everything ready to go, and just always on the go, have to have something being done type of person. And I was like, no, like you need to start relaxing. Like the baby is now beating you up and taking the life literally out of you. You need to rest and properly rest. And so she was talking to her father, and her father's like, I'm in love with this game on my phone. You need to start playing it. It is the greatest game ever. And I'm like, oh God, what is she going to be playing? And I look at her phone, and she's farming. She's on this game called Township. And I'm just like, oh no. Like, I remember Farmville from 2007 on Facebook. And I'm just, that's
plants, and
you're planting things and selling things and milking cows. And that's what she's doing on her phone for, I'm going to say, at least 6 to 7 hours a day. I mean, I game Call of Duty, but there's a difference for sure. Like, she could actually be a farmer and have produced stock and like livestock and help them live the amount of time that she's been playing this game. And like she's on there and she's like on the phone with her dad for like 2 and 3 hours some mornings just talking about how to make her farm run more efficiently. And I'm like, you're literally in a business for this game. Like, you are literally invested so much that you could literally have your own farm. We could have chickens, we could have all these things that you're planting and growing and waiting for. Like, she sits there and waits. She'll like plant a seed, and it's like, all right, it's going to take 20 minutes for this to turn into corn. And she's like, oh, well, what am I going to do? She's like, now she's like milking the cows while she waits for her corn, and then she's selling the corn. And I was like, you're literally a farmer. And she goes, I'm an agricultural specialist. Thank you. We don't like being called farmers. I'm like, okay. So what I'm gathering is
sons of the soil. It doesn't mean it's what we're going to call them.
So I was just like, so you're a farmer. And needless to say, now I'm addicted to this game, and I'm a farmer as well. Shameless plug for
circle of life.
Yeah, shameless plug for the game Township.
Not a sponsor. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Send me some in-game currency, and we'll let you be a sponsor.
So I'm sitting there, I'm outside, and I'm just kind of floating around, and my neighbor Alex kind of pops his head up. Hey, what are you doing right now? I'm like, nothing. I was gonna, I don't know, maybe work on the basement a little bit or something. And he goes, I need to get the brakes changed on the front of my car. And I know you've done that before, and I need to change my tires, like and they're on rims, like they're an easy change. That's 20 minutes to change tires that are on rims. And he goes, I'm just wondering, like, I know you used to do it on your old car. Would you be up for helping me out? And me, being the guy I am, went, sure. So we went over, and he said, how long do you think it would take to change the brakes? On there's the front brakes, front disc brakes on the car. I'm like, so it'll take probably 20 minutes for the tires, and I'd say another 20, 30 for the brakes. Like, it's not a real hard job. All right, well, let's get to it then. So we got to work. We ended up I didn't have any brake cleaner left, so I had to go to Canadian Tire. And so then we got to work, and I started working on them, and I'm like, I'm not like a pro or anything. I've done 4 different vehicles' brakes. And most of them are like, they're pretty close to being the same. Like, for the most part, they're the same. Yeah, this one wasn't. So the first brake, I did his front driver's side. That took about an hour.
You only had to change the front, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was an hour to do the driver's side one front brake. So
the job you said would take 45 minutes at most has already been surpassed in just changing the brakes.
just the one brake.
One brake. Gotcha.
So I'm working on it, and I finally get it done. He wants to help, and I'm like, well, it's hard because it's not exactly like a two people getting under the car kind of thing, right? Like it's doing like little intricate things and stuff, and I'm flailing my arms around again. So it doesn't work on audio. We'll use these videos eventually. We're recording them.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think for this week's we could include the video for the interview portion, but that's another thing about other than your story.
Okay. So here I am. I'm working on the brake, and I got it finished. I got it put on, and I put the first all season on for him, and put the hubcap on. Go around the other side. So it took me like a half an hour to do the rest of everything. Because once I did the first brake, it's like, oh, well, everything makes sense now. But I don't know have you ever done brakes or anything like that?
I've never even changed a tire on my own.
So brakes.
I'm gonna be a great dad.
Brakes have like I only learned how to do it because we had a Lemon, and we paid for the car 3 times. We did so much work to it.
Is that your van or your green car?
That was my old van, yeah.
Okay.
Mazda 5. Oh god, the green car's boss. That thing's awesome. I love that car.
You can stick your arm out of the window and it will turn.
It's great.
Just by drag, it just turns.
It's an amazing car. It's like, you have any trouble driving the snow? I'm like, no, the tires are super skinny. They just cut through it. I drove it without winters last year.
Well, it's an aluminum frame, so it's not like it's heavy.
So I figure if I open the doors, I'll fly. I think it'll work. Just like hold the doors.
Like DeLorean with like DeLorean style windows, so it opens up and the doors come upwards.
I think if I just grab the doors and like open and close them, I could churn and everything in the air. I think it would work.
You just need like 2 strings. I'm just now picturing you with like strings, like, and you're just like.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna drive off a cliff tomorrow. So
next week's episode is brought to you by only me.
So anyway, so normally there's they're pins, and they're just what the brake slides on. So you grease them up and you put them in their little hole, but you use an Allen wrench type of thing, like so a hex bit, and you screw those into the thing and everything slides on. So his slide in, and then you put and they have a spot to have something screwed into them. So you slide them in and you screw this bolt into them. I'm like, this is weird. And then normally the pins are the same all the way around, and this one is like there's 2 different pins for each brake. And anyway, it was a whole thing. It took us like an hour and a half, an hour of which was just doing the first brake.
Jeepers.
It was so quick after that. He's just like, he's watching me do.
Did you explain to him how to do it so he could do it for next time? Or?
Yeah, he watched very intently. So
okay.
he can just do it next time. But I'd probably still end up helping him just because it's. I mean, like,
and this is Alex that we were talking about last week, who's joining his band.
It's Alex Madsen, yeah, the lead singer of the Divorcees. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Like, that's cool how that comes full circle, and he's brought back up in this week's episode of the podcast. The Divorcees are back together in full.
They played a super cool show at the drive-in in Sussex.
See, that's the way I think entertainment's going to have to go. It's going to be drive-in based. Like, can you imagine a concert where you just drive in and you can easily set up a musician on a stage of a drive-in?
That's all they did. They were up on the stage of the drive-in, and then they had the cameras on them, and they were on the big drive-in screen. And it looked so cool, man. They got another friend of ours to do the sound, like a really good sound guy came in and did the sound just to give him something to do. And which reminds me, I have so many stories this week. It's been a busy week.
Pardon?
We just we got word from Old Triangle. We have we're going to be the first band to play the Old Triangle.
You were talking about this last week after we went off the air with John.
Yeah. So it's all official now. I got the guys together. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna play.
So now, how is that going to work with? How is that going to work with current situation of the way the world is?
So with the Old Triangle, so the way the restaurants and bars are working in New Brunswick or in Moncton is they're at basically half capacity if they're a smaller place. Like if you've been in the Old Triangle in Moncton, it's not a huge building. They do have the advantage of having booths, which makes it easier. But they've removed some of their tables.
Okay, so it's just they're just social distancing themselves from,
and people aren't allowed to get up from and go mingle with another table, and they're not doing dancing yeah. So we're gonna do that though. We're gonna go play the Old Triangle in 2 weeks, and it's gonna be awesome. And it's still gonna be Flea Market Underground live stream, and just like we do every week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you have any more stories for this week, or can we go on to pop culture?
Oh, I guess we should go into pop culture rather than my culture. I'm like yogurt.
You go bad real easy?
What?
You go bad real easy?
Yogurt never goes bad. Yogurt's bad when you buy it.
Boo. Anyway, all right. So, this week in pop culture history, in 1949, this is actually very apropos to the story you told earlier, Hank Williams Sr. debuted at the Grand Ole Opry.
Hank Williams Sr. is the first person ever to be inducted into both the Rock and Roll and Country Hall of Fame.
That's crazy.
Okay.
1978. Can you guess what was the number one hit this week in 1978?
Oh, this week. I know
this week.
If it was all of 1978, it's Call Me by Blondie. That was the number one hit for all of 1978.
This was the hit, and it was a hit for only a week.
Only a week.
Only a week.
Man, 1970.
I'll even give you a hint. It came from a movie.
This is hard. Number one hit this week came from a movie, 1978. Jaws theme.
June 10th, 1978 to June 16th, 1978. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, You're the One That I Want, from Grease, was number one on the charts. And then 1994, The Lion King debuts in theaters. And which this actually segues perfectly into a bit I've come up with for this week. In 1997, Hercules was released in theaters. I've been watching a lot of Disney Channel on Disney Plus, and there's a lot of talk of them wanting to remake Hercules into a live-action movie after all the success that they've had with all their other live-action
What?
movies.
Is that early?
I know. It's Tim the Toolman Taylor right there. So Hercules came out in 1997. They want to remake it. So I thought it'd be cool if you and I discussed the main characters. We don't need to get into like Zeus and Hera and Hermes or all that. Just like the main characters of like, who do I got here? We got Hades, Meg, young Hercules, old Hercules, Phil, Pain and Panic. So those are the ones I've got, and we can start with the obvious one, Phil. Danny DeVito is going to play Phil again in a live action, and if you don't, it's an injustice.
I think that would make sense to me because, I mean, Danny DeVito's that height.
But not only that, but like he hasn't changed. Literally, he hasn't aged or changed from 1997 till now. He literally looks the same, talks the same, acts the same, literally is the same person. I literally looked at him. You can look at Matilda and then look at him in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Same person. He's just wearing a fedora and Matilda. Same person.
And I mean, let's be honest, that character, like
Phil is going to be highly CGI'd anyway.
Yeah, highly CGI'd, yeah.
So are you in agreement with Phil being
I think that makes sense.
Danny DeVito? So we'll move on from Phil to Pain and Panic. We'll pair them together because I don't know which one of the two was the skinny, which one was Pain, which one was Panic. There's a really tall, lanky, skinny one and a really short, stout one. What do you think would be a good... Pardon?
They were like the number 10.
The number 10.
Yeah, it's a tall, skinny one, short, stout one.
Oh, yes, that's the number 10. Or the letter D or B, depending on which side they were on.
Yes.
Yes. So I've already written down my cast, and you said you wanted to go off the cuff. So
yeah.
Are you interested to hear who I have for those two roles if they were to remake it?
Can I try it first?
Yes.
I feel like it's Russell Brand and James Corden.
Ooh, those are very good, but not quite where I was. I had Michael Cera.
Oh, nice.
And Josh Gad.
And Josh Gad's the Disney guy, right?
But like the dude can literally play anything. Like you can throw him in as like the heartthrob of a romantic comedy, and I'd be like, yeah, I believe it. The guy can act. The guy can sing. The guy literally started on Broadway and has made himself to what he is.
Yeah.
So those are the two I had. I think Russell Brand could be better than Michael Cera. I think that would be even better. So like,
Michael Cera might be a little meek. I don't know.
But they're like these meek and shy guys until like.
That's true too, yeah.
So like I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey.
And
sorry, Chase walked by. Said hi.
Oh, Chris says hi.
I forgot you had.
Oh, and she said Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen would be her two Pain Panic combo.
She wins.
Oh, she wins, he said. So, and then we got young Hercules, and I'm going to come out of the bat and just say AJ Kappa is from Riverdale, red hair, young, can sing, is gangly kind of looking. He would fit the bill.
I'm trying to think of like young actors that I can think of right now. Macaulay Culkin. No. Macaulay
Culkin as young Hercules. If that doesn't sell tickets, I don't know what will. This summer in theaters, Hercules, young Hercules, played by Macaulay Culkin. And for those that can't see video, I just did the Home Alone face.
So, I'm not as versed on child actors as I used to be.
Crazy. You've got children. You've watched children's movies.
Yeah, but what the hell? Sorry. Lamp turned on behind me. My in-laws have everything on timers.
So do you want to skip Young Hercules for you?
You give me a sec. I'm just trying to think of something I saw with a kid in it.
Riverdale. I think he's the guy that could play Hercules.
Ah, man. I think I can't even think what the stupid thing's called. Yeah, right. Let's go with that guy. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a better answer.
And then the internet's been a buzz since coming out with this as who should play Meg, and it's got to like the answer is obvious. Ariana Grande.
Really? Well, you know,
I just it's her or Anna Kendrick.
Oh, that is tough. Ariana Grande is a great choice.
Amazing singer. Already literally looks like the cartoon drawn Meg from the movie Hercules. And same with Anna Kendrick. They are both very talented musicians, singers, as well as look the part.
I feel like Anna Kendrick might be able to pull it off better than Ariana Grande does acting wise. But I think Ariana Grande you might be right. She might be the absolute best choice.
She's definitely the sleeper for the part for sure. Hades.
I'm going with it, man. Hades for sure. I have no doubt, because he is now a real life villain anyway. James Woods.
James Woods?
Yeah,
I don't even know who that is.
he's the one who played Hades.
Is he the one that actually played Hades in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, he's too old, dude. He was born in 47. There's no.
Yeah, but Hades is old, right? And
Wait until you hear. My wife and I have discussed this at length, and we have come to the agreement on who we think should be Hades. And once I say this, you're gonna be like, "Oh, why didn't I think of this?" This is literally the answer. Stanley Tucci as Hades.
Yeah, that might be the answer.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci as
Stanley
Hades.
Tucci born though?
Pardon?
I don't know.
What'd you ask?
Stanley Tucci's not that much younger than.
Oh, he's got to be much younger.
10 years at best.
20 years. He's 20 years younger.
Is he really?
He's 20 years younger. Stanley Tucci is your obvious choice for Hades. I'm sorry. He literally he could play Hercules, and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, fine.
And then that leaves us with Hercules, who would play Hercules.
I got this one.
I've got 2 in the hopper for Hercules, both of which could kill it.
Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton, I'm going to look that up too.
He was in Kingsman.
Never seen it.
See,
Is it A.G. King?
It's Taron Egerton.
E.G. Oh, he was in Elton John's movie.
Oh yeah, he played Elton John.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that works. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. I had written down for that role Chris Pratt.
I like Chris Pratt, but he's old.
But Hercules is supposed to be old. He goes. He leaves home at 18.
Right.
And Chris Pratt has not aged horribly.
No. Chris Pratt, he is a good choice. He's got the comedy chops. He can sing. He can do everything, right?
The other guy that I was thinking for young Hercules is the kid that plays in the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, Tom
Holland.
Tom Holland's really good for you, young Hercules. For that matter, Taron Egerton. Taron Egerton can look young or old. It's really dependent on how he.
He's only 28. So, I mean, I think he could play a good Hercules. You might have won the Hercules round, but those at home listening, let us know who you think would be a great Hercules cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I have one more pop culture thing, which segues into our next week's guest. It is confirmed. You're hearing it here now. We're having a Broadway actor on the podcast next week. It is Justin Collette from Moncton, New Brunswick, who was Dewey Finn on School of Rock on Broadway for 2 years. And so the pop culture news from this week is in 2011, Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark opened this week and lasted for 3 years. And I seen that live, Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. It was amazing.
Oh, I bet. Man, the stuff on Broadway is just phenomenal.
If you're an actor and you make it on Broadway, you can literally make it in anything because you can sing, you can act, you can dance. You're good at improv because when stuff goes down, you're gonna have to come up with something on the fly.
Good enough for Tony Danza, it's good enough for you.
Exactly. So that brings us to our YouTube video of the week.
We're here in LA. Jacob, what are we doing?
Well, the Kings brought us out because they're pretty good at losing teeth, but they're not very good at winning games.
I wanted to shed some spotlight on the guys that we have on the podcast this week, the guys from On the Bench. And Chris, before I brought them up, had you heard of these guys before?
That's the thing. I don't follow sports anymore, really. So they were new to me, and I mean, I just watched I watched that video, and my gosh, they are funny. They are real funny.
So the video is the LA Kings meet on the bench, and they're teaching Kyle Clifford, Tyler Toffoli, and Jeff Carter. They're teaching Jeff Carter how to celebrate when he scores a goal. They're teaching Kyle Clifford how to properly throw a hit, and they're teaching Tyler Toffoli how to shoot. And they're bad at all of them, but they think they think they're the greatest hockey players. And it's another thing that we endorse. They're family friendly. Like, there's no cussing, there's none of that. It's a family product that they're putting out, and they're killing it at, and it's great comedy.
I can't argue that. Like, I watched it, I was laughing. Well, and you're sitting there, you're watching me watch it, and I'm losing it, laughing at some of the stuff they were doing.
Oh my goodness! And the only thing I'm going to say about this video, you have to watch it. It's the On the Bench boys meet the LA Kings, and all I got to say about that is Jesus, Jacob, because it's said literally 15 times in that episode, because they're literally putting their bodies on the line to put out content and injuring themselves.
Yeah. Oh, it's just phenomenal. Go watch it. It's On the Bench teaches LA Kings the fundies.
Which brings us to our interview this week with On the Bench. So let us take a few moments. We'll maybe put some sponsored ads in here, and then we'll get right to the interview with On the Bench.
Hey fans, we know you're on Twitter and you're on Facebook. You're on social media getting breaking news the minute it happens. Well, good news, so are we. Innovative Hybrid Wrestling has social media covered. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We post everything you need to know about Innovative Hybrid Wrestling, so make sure you're following us so you're the first to get the inside scoop.
At Spin-It Records and Video, we pride ourselves on having some unique and really cool items and attractions.
Come in and check out our classic arcade.
Our gift cards available in $5, $10, and $20 denominations. When you're here, go see our movie rental section sporting 35,000 DVDs, over 2,000 Blu-rays, including a large selection of Francophone films, and a huge selection of video games for rent.
Make sure you check out our vinyl section. We have more vinyl than you can shake a stick at.
For more information, go to spin-itrecords.ca. We're at 467A Main Street in Moncton, open 7 days a week. Video store 10 to 10, record store 10 to 8, Sundays 12 to 5. I love to read comic books, and man, do I love playing board games. That's why I go to Comic Hunter. Comic Hunter has Atlantic Canada's largest selection of comic books, graphic novels, board games, and manga. Plus, they have toys, action figures, statues, and much, much more. ComicHunter.net has a blog and Magic the Gathering web store. Events every single night, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, board games, Star Wars X-Wing, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, they have mangas, buy 3, get 1 free, used graphic novels, buy 1, get 1, plus the dollar bin of comics, thousands of comic books, up to 50% off the more you buy. Check out ComicHunter.net. They have a knowledgeable staff, plus Matt Surrett's there too. Open Monday to Friday 10 to 10, Saturday 10 to 9, Sunday 12 to 6. Location is Moncton, 467 Main Street, Suite 300, and in Charlottetown, 181 Queen Street. That's right, Comic Hunter, where heroes come to play. For all your hauling needs, call Brace & Son Enterprises, TPC Network's newest sponsor. Call them at 506-381-8178. They haul material, and in the winter, they do snow plowing and snow blowing. Call Brace & Son Enterprises.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we are with the On the Bench boys. Boys, introduce yourselves, because I think nobody does it better than you.
Hi, my name is Oli Postman, stay-at-home, offensive, threatening forward, 7 years Bangladesh pro. This is my sidekick, Jacob.
I'm not your sidekick. Say it one more time. I'll knock your giblets out. Jacob R down here, boys. 7 years played in the Virgin Island Elite League for the Coconut Cutters. Absolute weapon, holds the recce for most stick infractions in 1 period. I'm an absolute weapon, boys.
Guys, great introductions. It's great to get a little bit of your past there. So I had a questions for some fans for you guys here, and some of them are, what is the fundies? What is fundies?
The fundies is just abbreviated. What is it again? Fundamentals?
The fundamentals.
Yeah, the fundamentals just abbreviated a little bit.
Yeah, it's just easier to say fundies.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
So what would be encompassing in those fundies? Like, what are some of the main things that you guys want to let people know about for the fundies?
Basically, you want to like run numbies a lot. So a lot of hitting, a lot of body contact, stick work. So everyone thinks that you shouldn't try and get penalties, but there's clean penalties like slashes and C checks and stuff like that. So it's just the way to play the game that people aren't doing it right now. And it's just the right way to do it.
And it also helps you get noticed too.
Yeah, by the scouties. Yeah.
So it's safe to say you guys are very much old-time hockey style players.
Basically, yeah.
Just old time in like the new time.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And one more question here for you guys that was sent in. If you guys could 2v1 anyone in the league right now, who would it be, and which one of you would sucker him?
2v1, like a fight?
Yeah.
I think it'd be a pretty like even contest against like Matthews and Marner, and obviously I'd sucker punch Matthews, but not Marner because he looks like he's 15.
And and then the last question here is, do you have any words for Paul Bissonnette? He beat you guys at some ice puck, and we're going to be having him on the podcast a little later, and just wanted to see if you guys had anything to say about that poor showing.
Well, like everyone saw, it was, cheap shots.
It's pretty rigged.
It was pretty rigged. When we went into that shoot, he was supposed to win, to make himself look good. But, other than that, nothing.
Yeah, if it was a fair game, we're going to dummy him in it. But, yeah.
So you guys let him win is what you're saying?
Yeah, they wanted the underdog story. So they, basically – kind of paid us off with a pack of Tic Tacs to let him win. And so we just had to do it because it was our favorite flavor.
Perfect. All right, so back from a little break there, and now we're going to get to know the guys behind the on the bench. Boys, can you introduce yourself yet again, but as yourselves now?
My name is Steve, a.k.a. Oli.
And I'm Ryan. Or Jacob. Nobody cares about Ryan, though.
So when did you guys first get into hockey? Because you guys have made yourselves very famous and haven't played in the NHL, and a lot of guys that make themselves famous in media after, there's the Paul Bissonnettes and the Ryan Whitneys transitioning after, and you guys have done it just on your own.
We started playing when we were very young. I started when I was 3 years old. Never made it to the NHL, obviously. Went to juniors, was too fat and slow, didn't hit, so I had to quit.
Yeah, I've been playing my whole life too. As long as I can remember, I was on skates and chase that dream, and came to the point where you got to choose between take the gamble on the dream or get a career and make some money. And when it happens, you're not really happy that you picked the one over the other. But looking back now, I'm pretty jazzed that it went the way that it did, because I think this is a lot more fun because we don't have to train, but we still got to hang out with the boys, and we can eat and have whatever we want and don't got to worry about it.
So you said that sometimes those dreams don't pan out, but I'd say your guys' dream panned out pretty nicely here. It's actually 3 years ago this March that you guys posted your first video. Tell me about how that got started and what made you want to start on the bench.
It just got started. We were coaching in Airdrie, and we just wanted to make it more fun for the kids. So we started competing in different ways and adding fun to the practices, and they started trying a lot harder and progressing a lot faster. So we decided we were going to start filming these videos, and the idea was just make it fun again, stop having a business side of hockey, and get kids to remember that it's about playing the game, not creating a business, play other sports, have fun with it and stuff like that. And it was just a desire to refuel the passion for hockey that we grew up with and still have.
So you guys are now, were you coaching before all the pandemic happened?
We stopped coaching just over a year ago. With our schedule coming in and out like that, it's not fair to the kids because we missed a lot of hockey, and the biggest thing with kids is consistency, and so weren't able to give that to him. So we stepped back just to be fair, and hopefully one day we can get back into it.
Awesome. So how do you guys come up with your ideas for your videos? Because your guys' videos are definitely out of the box and something that every day is unique and different.
Well, we don't really plan it out. We just go to the rink, like we're probably going to do today. Go to the rink and try and figure out something that, people need to see, or like a funny idea, like tipping the puck with our head, just things like that. There's no like plan going into it. It's all show up and just see what happens.
Yeah, we're naturally stupid, so it makes it a little easier.
So you guys have taken a lot of checks to the numbies, as you guys like to say, and hits and hippers and slap shots. How do you keep yourself like limber going into another shoot, knowing that you're probably going to walk away with a couple bumps and bruises?
You don't really. You take your lickings when they come. It's just like anyone else playing hockey, whether it's rec league or pro. You're going into it. You're gonna get banged up a bit, and you still gotta wake up the next day and do your thing. So I think it's just kind of ingrained in a hockey player and athlete, and you just take it and keep moving forwards.
So what's the worst injuries you guys have had while shooting?
I've had a concussion, and that's about it.
Which is pretty funny. You got it from Drew Doughty, so that's pretty legendary.
Well, you're probably on a short list of guys that have been given a concussion by him, so that's pretty neat. So you guys have gotten to work with the likes of Marc-Andre Fleury, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Connor McJesus McDavid himself. So how do you guys approach getting these guys to come on your show, on your epis, and do what you guys have planned?
Well, we've been fortunate. We've never reached out to any of these guys. Like, they've reached out to us. Like with the McDavid, that was with EA Sports.
Yeah.
So we teamed up with EA Sports for that stuff. And the Fleury and Sagan and all those guys, that was part of when we were working with the NHL as well. So we haven't really reached out to nobody. We've just been very fortunate.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So now, putting your plan to action, do you guys have an idea what you want to do before you go and you see these guys and do your video, or is it pretty much a decide with them in the moment then?
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Usually it's just in the moment. It's a lot easier that way, and just think about like what type of player they are. So like having Ben and Sagan was easy because 2v2 made sense, and then guys like Dylan Larkin, obviously, he's speedy and he's got a great shot, so it made sense that we taught him how to have a better shot and stuff like that. So we'll either go with the aspect that they're terrible at what they're the best at, or we'll just mix in something completely random. Just depends on how we're feeling at the moment.
Awesome. So now you guys got to introduce your characters at the start of this podcast. You guys did it all improvised. Is that normally how you guys run your episodes?
Yeah, it's all off the cuff. However it goes, it goes.
Do you guys have a background in improv or acting or anything, or is that just you guys naturally just how you are?
We're just like what you see in the videos is just how we actually are. We just abbreviate a couple of the words and dumb it down a smidge, but that's it.
That is amazing. Like you guys, I've watched every episode. You guys have never broke characters. Like when you guys are playing mini sticks in one of your guys' apartments, it's probably the best thing I've ever watched on YouTube. And like you guys would never break character, or I'm in the wrestling world, so I say break kayfabe. So you guys got to work with a lot of companies. What is it like being able to work with, as you mentioned, Paul Bissonnette and Budweiser and Connor McDavid for EA Sports?
It's surreal every time something comes up, and we grew up idolizing and like the players, and everyone drinks Budweiser, stuff like that. So when you get to actually work with these companies and these people, it's pretty surreal. It doesn't really feel like it's happening in the moment, and then when it is happening, is the most fun that we can think about having.
Is there anything that did you guys must have played the EA games before getting to work with EA and all that? So doing this has afforded you guys the opportunity to get to go to a lot of places. You've gone to Toronto and done videos with NFL players. You've also gotten to go to Dubai, and I'd like for you to expand on that and how that all came to be.
Dubai was kind of out of the blue, I think.
Yeah, it was weird. It was I thought it was fake news, honestly, when I heard about it.
It was just this Russian guy. Like, I'm sure you've watched the video, Vladimir, right?
Yeah,
that's his name. He just messaged us out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, we got a team, the Mighty Camels in Dubai. We'd love to have you guys come out to Dubai." We're like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then it was real. And then within like a month, we were out in Dubai.
Yeah, it was insane. It was a once in a lifetime experience for sure.
How is that being two Canadian boys? You said you never traveled much before, going to Dubai, where it's probably a complete culture shock, and where hockey is not their main sport like it is in Canada, where people looking at you kind of weird when you're walking around.
We actually had fans in Dubai at the rinks, which blew my mind.
Yeah, like Emirati fans. Like there's a lot of Canadians down there, and that basically is who played on their hockey team. But there was quite a few Emiratis that came up and would get photos and had seen our stuff. It's
pretty wild.
It was insane to imagine that it had traveled that far.
So would you consider that your biggest pinch me moment is having fans in a completely different country on the opposite side of the world? Or is there another pinch me moment that you've had?
There's been so many of them. Like,
it's definitely up there, but I'd put it like something like that, or getting to speak and be a part of the NHL awards in Vegas. That was
really cool.
A moment you can't really compare to anything else.
Mine is like a really weird one. I think I told you when we were in Philly. Like,
oh yeah,
because as a kid, you always like grow up like be like, oh, it'd be so cool to like, you know, be in a lineup like giving players like fist bumps when they skate by. As a kid, obviously, but it was still cool to know. But we were in Philadelphia and we were with the Flyers, and they brought us into the locker room with the team. And then after they won, we got to hang out down there and like
wait in the tunnel.
Yeah, wait in the tunnel. I don't like fist pound. And I'm like I'm, what was it, 28?
Yeah,
2 years ago.
29.
And I was so happy. Like, it's just something you always dreamed as a kid. And I was like, oh, I got to do it. Like, fist pump Drew and Voracek. That might be mine.
That was pretty cool.
It's pretty neat.
I got to do something similar. I got to do a video. I did a video of Paul Bissonnette in November where he took my dad, who has Lewy body's dementia, to Toronto to see a Toronto Maple Leafs game. We got to fist bump the Toronto Maple Leafs on the way out, and that for me is like my definitely pinch me moment of my life.
Right, everyone as a kid, it's just like that's what you dream of doing. So
it's special. It's like you're part of the team. You're down there right in the fireworks.
So what is the moment where you guys realize, okay, we've got something here. Let's run with this on the bench. And are you guys full into it? Is this like your everyday job now?
Yeah.
I
don't think there has been a moment yet. We're just having fun.
Yeah. We said from the start, even before it blew up, as long as whoever was watching it was smiling, we'll keep going. The minute nobody's like smiling or gets a laugh out of it, then we know we're done. But until then, we just keep going forward. It's all about laughing, especially with how everything is today and has been going. Laughter is extremely important right now. So it's kind of our job to just make sure people have something to smile about for at least a minute.
Yeah, we get a lot of messages from like kids and parents that they look forward to watching our videos every day. They get together as like a big group and they all watch it, which is like, you know, why stop?
Yeah.
Because you guys just went to daily vlogs, right?
Yeah. We're trying that out for a month and see how that goes. And people, I guess, are liking it. So
the spike ball episode was awesome. So you guys also have your own Upper Deck trading cards, which are out there. I see you guys have some.
We were literally
cards.
we just filmed the video of opening them.
Yeah, with the Upper Decks. We didn't get any of our cards, which sucks, but
unfortunately,
we got these cool ones.
Johnny Hockey and Dylan Larkin.
Nice.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
But yeah, we got hockey cards, which is surreal.
It's insane.
I know. I just went on eBay and picked up one of your guys' cards from my man cave because I had you on the podcast. Now I got to have something representing you guys on the man cave. But what was that like? What was getting the? Was that another thing where you guys were like, oh, fake news? Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the emotions going into that?
I mean, until I actually saw it, like in my hand, I was like, there's no way this is happening. Like, someone's pranking us right now. This is like a fake Upper Deck email. And then we got him. Like, that's insane. Like,
we got him we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
I think we got him when we were in Vegas at the awards, and we had.
Yeah, I would say.
You got them while you were in Vegas?
Yeah, we got them all in Vegas at the awards, and then we had to sign them all, which was a cool moment too. So.
Yeah.
How many did you sign the wrong name for? Did that happen at all, or?
Oh yeah, I did a few where I signed my original name instead of.
So how many cards did you have to sign?
We had probably like 200 each or something.
No, yeah.
No?
Because there's 25. I know there's 25 numbered where you guys had to write like a little thing about yourself.
Yeah, something different.
I think we had 750 total that we had to sign, and so there were like single cards and then a few like double, like both of us on the card, and then they sent us gave us each a couple packs of our own, so we could have some in our hand. Yeah, it's crazy.
So you guys also this past fall put out a book. Now I'm going to give you the floor to shoot your book here for us and everyone listening, so that they can go to the local chapters and pick it up.
Yeah, it was, I mean, never would have thought we'd be authors. My least favorite subject in school was English, so I hated writing, reading, all that stuff. Hated it. And then we wrote a book. It's all the fundies that you need to know on paper. So when you're traveling on airplane, you want to read a book, you want to switch it up and read good literature for once. Get the fundies, the hockey Bible. It's everything you need to know about puck.
Perfect, and that can be bought on Amazon, Chapters.
Yeah.
Chapters in Canada, Barnes & Noble in the U.S., and
online.
Online, yeah.
Well, I know that the world's been pretty crazy, but you guys have definitely been spreading positivity and laughter through that. So I want to thank you for that during this time. And our podcast is all about positivity. And one last question, and they'll edit it in there before I do the wrap up. You guys are a very PG show. There's not many times that you guys curse. Is that something you guys did purposely and set out to do purposely, is to make it a family-friendly product?
Yeah, the first 3-4 videos?
Yes.
First 3-4 we put out, I think there was smoking, swearing. I think we probably drink. Yeah, we were drinking. Yeah, we were drinking, and then it kind of took off and got a lot of traction. So we're like, let's just cut this out.
Yeah.
And obviously it was for the best. I mean, a lot of parents come up to us like, hey, thank you so much for cutting all the swearing out my kids. I can allow my kids to watch you guys and not be concerned about what they're watching or seeing.
Yeah. This is one of the smartest things we ever did.
I think so, yeah.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for explaining everything on the bench to me and to all our listeners. And hopefully we'll have you on again in the future with your next book or the On the Bench movie or the On the Bench TV series. What a interview. I know you weren't able to be there, Chris, but you got to listen to it. And those guys, so we did two different interviews. We did one in character. We did one in character and one out of character. And these guys, everything they do in character is improvised. How crazy is that?
It's wild, man. To do all of that, to be an
and not laugh.
The stuff I've done for comedy or whatever, because you get your talking points and then I improvise the rest usually. But I don't know how they can do what they're doing, and that's the thing. Not ever break. It's ridiculous.
And hurting your friends and not laughing as they're groaning on pain on the ground, and it's just crazy. These guys, and they're the best of friends. And their main goal is they want to put out family friendly content about hockey.
And I remember it, I know if I were in the situation that they're in, a lot of what I would want to do is make the other guy break.
And that's what they're trying to do to each other, and it's making content. And I was like, so how do you come up with this character? They're like, oh, it's kind of just us. What? You guys actually act like this? Well, no, we just dial it up to 100. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm in wrestling. You're supposed to take yourself and dial it up to 100, and that's how you go out. But
100%.
these guys are just insane. Like they're the nicest people, and yeah, what a great interview. And these guys they're all in. They're committed to this, and they've quit their 9 to 5s. And the fact that they haven't had to reach out to anybody, they've got the people like Connor McDavid, who is the greatest hockey player in all of hockey, wanting to be in videos with them is insane.
I was waiting to see where this where there's the greatest hockey player in. I'm just watching it, like what's he about to say?
Well,
All of hockey.
There's a lot of debate whether Connor McDavid or Wayne Gretzky is the greatest player, and I think
there is.
I think there is. If you put Wayne Gretzky into that's another topic for another day. But if you put Wayne Gretzky in today's hockey product, Wayne Gretzky doesn't last because Wayne Gretzky lasted because of guys like Marty McSorley, and that's what made Wayne Gretzky. Because you knew if you were going to mess with Wayne Gretzky, you were going to have to face Marty McSorley.
I'm not going to get too much into a debate, but I will admit that. But you can't. It's like
what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, and it's like the Kobe versus Jordan argument, right? Like would he last in today's game? But the thing is, if today's game's not necessarily as rough, or is it rougher, right? And if it's rougher, he would have still had somebody like McSorley to keep him safe, right?
But you got people like Connor McDavid, who's the same build, same size, and don't need somebody rough to protect them because he can skate by him and he can hold his own. So that's a topic for another day.
Avoided everybody anyway. He just like
yeah. So topic for another day. But these guys are great, and because they're so great, we are going to be giving away a copy of their book called The Fundies. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to watch our Facebook, and we are going to make a post. And in that post, you're gonna have to tag two friends that haven't commented on our post, but tag two friends, like it, share it, do whatever you want, but you have to comment two friends and like our page, and you can be entered to win the Fundies book. We'll be drawing that next week on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and one of the ideas I actually had, and it's funny because I've only really just started looking at their videos, was it come up with the best hockey chirp. Give us your best hockey chirp. Right? Because I think that's something I thought of. And
we could add that in there. Tag two friends and give us a chirp.
Oh, sure. I was just going to say, because they have one of their videos is teaching you how to hockey chirp. So It's like, oh, well, look at that. I'm on the ball here.
So yeah, no, that's perfect. So tag two friends, give us your best hockey chirp, and we're off to the races. What a great week. This has been a great podcast, great episode, great interview. I'm overall tickled pink with how episode 3 went, and we're just hitting the ground running. We're just starting to find our stride, and we already tackled pretty big guests. This week was the first week where I was like nervous for the interview.
You were, and the guy wasn't there to back you up, which I wish I could have been. And but you were.
It just worked that they were busy in the evenings and they needed it to be an afternoon,
and I 100% like, and I told you, like, man, you got this. You nailed it.
I hope I did good. So let us know. Give us a rating on whatever platform you are currently listening to this on. Let us know what you think. We're always down to hear what you want to hear, what you think we can improve on. Any criticism is good.
Yeah, absolutely. We have no problems as long as you're not a jerk about it.
Yeah, don't be negative. This is positive. We're all about positivity, man. Keep the good vibes going, man.
Absolutely. Wow. It's that time.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
It's time
to get brown and sticky. It's going to get brown sticky all up in here. And Chris, you're going to make it brown and sticky. Let's do this.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. Like,
I guess. All right. Don't rush me. You got to be like a doctor sometimes. You have to have patience. All right. That's not even the joke. Here we go. Josh.
Yes.
Why don't skeletons ever go trick-or-treating?
I don't know, Chris. Why don't skeletons ever go trick-or-treating?
They have no body to go with.
Oh. Oh. That's episode 3, everybody.
Nailed it.
Oh.
Thanks for
listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will
We'll be back next week, same time, same place. That was wet and sticky, or brown and sticky, or something and sticky. It was sticky.
Be wet and sticky. I hope not.
It's brown and sticky. My version's a stick in a rainstorm, so it's all good.
Remember, rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Fill out our audience survey. Let us know what you think.
Follow us on social media.
Talk to you next week. I'm Rockstar Chris Cole.
I'm Josh Rockstall, and this has been the Lukewarm Seat.
This has been a TPC Network podcast. For more shows like this, go to tpcnetwork.com/podcasts.